big films that were supposed to happen and they never happened. अरे ये तो jinx है. ये बड़ी-बड़ी फिल्में she goes to sign and then even signs it and those films shell. Our parents always said कि लड़कों की नीड ही नहीं है जब इतने स्ट्रॉन्ग लड़कियां हैं हमारे घर में. Even when my parents passed, it was my sister and I who performed their last rites. Namrata is my everything. She worries about me, she loves me, she's there for me. I decided to come back to India because I was in an emotional wreck. I was totally messed up and why do you all have only housewife? Why don't you all have full-time mother or homemaker? Because I feel that it is one of the most crucial professions to be in. There is an audience that calls me Buddhi and wannabe and Chudel and all these things, but which is their point of view. And when Sonakshi was coming in, my friend's father, he had called me and he said, there's somebody who looks like you, Shatrughan Sinha's daughter, she's coming in the industry. My God, she reminds me just of you. And I was like, yeah. When I actually saw her, like, okay.
In Jatadhara, your character is a grey character.
These are the opportunities as actors that we get to do. Getting to play Shobha, who is so greedy and is so malicious. And here I am, playing this character who's ready to kill for money. I think the profession that we are in today allows us to be people that we don't think we could ever be. Offered me chaya and then they told me that, but you're a little overweight. So I went on a 15-day diet and all that. And then they said, no, you're still fat, so now we're not taking you. Anil Kapoor was the reason I signed Brahma, actually. And he he's a very nice girl.
Amitabh Bachchan ji.
Amitabh Bachchan ji is... So that was the... अमिताभ बच्चन से शादी करनी है.
Hello, hi friends. Welcome to Prema the Journalist YouTube channel. Please do subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications to consume intriguing, impactful and inspiring content from my channel. 80s, 90s లో ఒక రేజ్, అద్భుతమైన performances, and she acted with almost all the stars in that period of time. And today I have the privilege of talking to her. She's Shilpa Shirodkar on my channel, Prema the Journalist. Hi Shilpa.
Hello Prema, how are you? And thank you so much for having me on this chair with you.
Yes.
It's a complete honor and I'm so happy that we are finally doing this. It was long overdue.
We've been planning, I think, more than 6-8 months.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking and then look at me. Today I have a film release and I'm sitting and talking to you about myself, my journey, my film.
Yes.
And God, I think it's going to be a fabulous
And you know what?
time.
I always, wanted to talk to you. Not because I met you 8 months back, but earlier also, I used to always think, I should talk to Shilpa. I should just have a conversation with her. And see, I manifested. It happened.
Yeah. I tell you, manifestation, the power of manifestation.
Yes. So Shilpa, let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
Okay. So I think you were hardly 16 or 17 when you entered the industry?
True.
Or even lesser than that?
No, I was about 16 when I signed my first film in 1986. And then I continued studying because that film didn't take off. And then after 2 years or something, when that film was never going to work out, I started looking for more work.
Okay.
And then I got a film offer from Ramesh Sippy sir and I did Bhrashtachar and my career started like that. In 1989 was my first release. And then, the journey continued and by the grace of God, it was a fabulous time as long as it was in the industry. I did lots and lots of work with, I think, the best in the industry.
Great grandmother or grandmother?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother?
Yeah.
And she was a brilliant actress in her
Yes,
times,
yes.
and I think she was a most beautiful woman. I believe that's what
Yes.
I've heard.
Meenakshi Shirodkar was her name. In 1936, she set the Marathi cinema on fire by wearing a swimming
Swimsuit.
costume and singing her own song. And she also did a lot of theatre. So she was known for her charm, her beauty, her presence in the Marathi film industry at that time.
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately, she's no more with us. But after my grandmother, my dad's mother, she was. And I have to tell you one thing, that my grandmother was already married, and my grandfather was a homeopath doctor. And he encouraged my grandmother to pursue a career that she thought she was enjoying, right? And I tell you, we come from a very liberal family. My father, apparently, was born in Kolhapur while my grandmother was doing a stage show.
Stage show.
Yes, so that is.
She was doing the show.
Yeah, she was doing a show on stage, and then
started getting
suddenly,
pains.
Yeah, she started getting pains, and he was born in Kolhapur. So it's an amazing journey, if you ask me, of my grandmother, and yeah, so that's the family I belong to.
Yeah.
Strong women, strong men, and men who support their women to do what they're doing.
Did you ever get a chance to talk to your grandfather? Did you ever ask him, how did he do that? I mean, in those days, the men were not allowing the women to step out of the house only.
Yeah,
I mean, it
I
was
know. I've heard those stories. I've never
Yeah.
seen it because it never prevailed in my house.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this question I never asked my grandfather, although I was the closest to my granddad. I used to call him JJ Papa, and I used to talk to him and a lot of things. But we never landed up. I somehow never asked him this question, because these questions actually
Yeah.
come to you as you grow older.
Correct,
right?
at a later stage.
Yeah, and then we lost him very young. I was in the 7th standard. Even before I decided to be a part of this industry, my grandfather had passed away.
Yeah.
So I never really got a chance to ask him this. But my grandmother had beautiful stories to tell about them as a couple and her industry times, and how my grandfather helped her, and used to always be there with her, buy her decisions, and things like that. Because when my grandmother had stopped work also, she used to have her own singing classes.
Oh.
She used to teach sitar and classical music
Okay.
to young kids. And my grandfather used to be there, always saying, Ki, acha, as today is this class, today so many students are coming. Now today, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 days a week kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So he used to manage a diary for her. So this was a beautiful unit, I think,
But later on in life, at least, I mean, did your father or your mom, did they ever bring this topic?
No, we never land. Actually, funny enough, we never discussed these things, because for us, we didn't know otherwise.
It was natural.
Yeah, we didn't know otherwise, right? It was my grandfather who supported my grandmother. My mother used to model and work, and my father supported my mother. So when I decided to come into the industry, there was never anyone who rebelled saying, Ki, nahi, how can you do this? You're a woman, we come from Marathi family. And no, you want to do it? Great, we are with you. Through anything, whether it's a good decision, a bad decision, a right decision, a wrong decision, family was always there.
As young as 16 years, when you actually didn't know what the world was, how it will treat you or how it is gonna be, you acted in a film called Bhrashtachar, and that role was you've been sexually assaulted in the film.
Correct.
At that age, what did you know? I mean, how did you actually conceive the character, and how did you perform? Were there any inhibitions, and did you talk to your family about this role? I just want to know backstory of that.
Yeah, I'm thinking, because it's long ago. I don't remember having prepared for the role at all, because I am a director's actor actually. I believe that there is a department who writes the subject. There's a director who sits on the project for several months, several years sometimes, and he's perceived the role in a particular way. Obviously, a veteran director like Ramesh Sippy sir was directing me, and for my first film, I was playing a blind girl. So anyway, for me, it was something that was from the ordinary. It was not like normal
Yeah.
for someone to get her first role to be a blind girl, then to have this very crucial sequence of the film. But then I was lucky because I had an amazing team. Like my Ramesh Sippy sir was there, my cameraman who was a very renowned cameraman. I was working with Anupam Kher ji. And for me, what better could I have asked for?
Yeah.
They were all veterans in their time and they're still around working and making some amazing cinema. So I went as a newcomer. I mean, obviously it was my first film, so I didn't go. And then I just followed instructions.
Okay.
I followed instructions of my director. I followed instructions of Anupam sir, who was there on the set. And, you know, like he obviously knew because there was a lot of mirrors and all, I remember, in that sequence. And the camera had to be in a particular way. It shouldn't look ugly. It shouldn't look dirty, but it should look scary. And that was their intention behind filming that sequence. And yet, you know, keeping that simplicity of a poor, innocent, blind girl on that bed who's getting molested by this mean, horrendous man.
Yeah.
And I think that is what we wanted to bring out. And I think that's what made the sequence even the talk of, you know, and so after so many years, everybody still remembers that sequence because I guess it was shot like that.
Yeah. But in those days, I heard there was a lot of backlash about that scene and that character that you played.
Honestly, I don't remember because every film, people, like I believe today that anything you do, some people will like it, some people will not.
Obviously.
So, you know, and I think at that time we were just busy wanting to work. I was hungry for work then and I just wanted to work. So, ek picture khatam hone ke baad, dusri announcement, you know, you get into another film.
Yeah.
And at that time it was not like it is today, where you just do one project and then you wait for another one to start. That time we used to do multiple projects. So like we do 15 days आज इस set पे, फिर दो shift कभी-कभी क्योंकि दूसरे unit का भी, you know, you've got dates and stuff like that. So yeah, we never had time to think about what is written about you. And luckily at that time, social media wasn't there.
Yes.
So whatever was written and then forgotten about and, you know, so yeah.
Right. So Shilpa, you've acted in the best of the films, the best of the directors and actors and everything. But I came to know that initial years of your career, you were termed as an iron leg. So you were not.
No.
What
so
is
that was not that. It was jinxed.
Jinxed.
Yeah, I was like the press or the media, whatever, they were used to call me jinx. Like people in the industry apparently, so the media people came and told me. Why? Because like this first film, which was supposed to be this wow project and this amazing, you know, introduction I had got into the industry, it didn't work out. And then after that, I had met Boney Kapoor for a film with Sanjay Kapoor because he was launching Sanjay at that time and they were supposed to do a film called Jungle, which everything was okay, great. We did look tests and we did everything. Everything was fine. We were going to go on floor and then suddenly one day they decided we will not do Jungle. We will do a film called Prem and they signed Tabu for it. So there were these two big films that were supposed to happen and they never happened. And so you know how people in the industry, अरे ये तो jinx है, ये बड़ी फिल्में, she goes to sign and then even signs it and those films shelve.
Okay.
So that was the thing that was going, and that is one of the reasons why for me to prove that I have arrived, I just had needed work.
Yeah.
I didn't have the option or the opportunity to choose between a big film or a small film or a big role or a small role. I just looked at every opportunity that I got as a positive opportunity and I worked sincerely and yeah.
But you know what, Shilpa? Today, when, you know, we are so matured enough, we have seen the life, we've seen the ups and downs of life, we understand what life is.
True.
But as young as 18, 19, 17, you know, when someone call you like that, or, you know, someone put a mark on you, as a young child, you know, it is very difficult to process. I just want to know, what was the support system? How did you deal with it?
Actually, I'll tell you honestly, Prema, it was until very late in my career that I even knew that the industry was terming me as jinx because
you
my
didn't
mother,
know at that point of time.
So my mother never let this information come to me.
Okay.
I have a extremely strong family backing. It was so. I mean, I don't ever remember sitting in the room sulking, saying, "Mera kya hoga?"
Yeah.
I just knew ki it'll all happen because we are, we just need to do it, and it'll happen. It's okay. Means okay. The journey is hard, but
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
impossible, right?
Right.
And so I don't remember going through therapy or then talking or crying over something, or no, nothing. I
Nothing.
mean, I just don't have any recollection of being sad even at that time.
Right. But did you not question as to why am I not getting offers?
No.
Did you not question
You
your
know,
mind?
actually, once I signed Bhrashtachar, the journey had begun for me.
Okay.
And there was never a moment where I was sitting at home doing nothing.
Okay.
There was something or the other for the 11 years that I worked from 89 to 2000. There was never a day where I had to question my capability as an actor or my capability of getting work. There was work, and there was work in abundance for everybody at that time in the industry.
Yeah.
So, I was making the most of it. Like you correctly said, I have worked with everyone. Bhale wo chota role ho ya bada role ho, but I've had the opportunity, the privilege to work with most of the people who are still working today.
So tell me, did you work only in Hindi films, or because I know you worked in Brahma?
Yeah, I
Telugu
did.
film
I did
with
one
Mohan
Telugu
Babu,
film.
Mohan Babu Garu.
Yes,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Mohan Babu Garu, and I did. I'd also signed a Tamil film, but that film shelved in the middle with Dr. Raj Shekhar.
Okay.
I did a Malayalam film with Mammootty sir and Arasiyal. The name of the
Yeah,
film was
yeah,
Arasiyal.
yeah,
I did
yeah.
that as well. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get many opportunities to prove my mark or to continue working here. And now I'm back with Jatadhara. And yeah, I am so excited. And I've done a few interviews. We've had a trailer launch event. And the media was so lovely. They still remembered me from Brahma. And they were so happy and so welcoming. And they're like, "Ma'am, we are really looking forward to you coming back." And I'm like, "Yeah, me too. God has been kind. I can only say thank you. And the number of thank yous that I can say are still never going to be enough."
You remember the experiences of Brahma? Do you remember anything?
Well, I just remember that it was one of my most beautiful experiences in a regional space because I didn't know the language, but Mohan Babu Garu and the director was so kind. They used to sit and explain to me every word ka meaning.
Oh, okay.
Ki, because obviously the emotions have to come right. And then we went, did songs where Prabhudeva was the direct choreographer of the song. And it was such a good experience.
Yes,
I
the
cannot
songs
tell
are all
you.
beautiful.
And even like, I think I saw the film after many years once on YouTube.
Oh.
And I was just looking, I said, my God, I could never imagine. I'd actually forgotten, the memories of that particular thing. But I have to tell you something, our industry is so beautiful, Prema, that yahan pe na, even if you've forgotten the making of a film or whatever, if you go back and you watch the film, those memories just come back into your life.
Yeah,
Every shot, there's a memory attached to it. And it's so beautiful. We are like, I don't think we'll ever be lost.
Coming back to your family a bit, you're just you and your sister, or you have brothers, or
No, it's just me and my sister. My sister is, we never felt the need of having a boy in the house.
You're happy by yourself.
Absolutely. Not only I'm happy or we are happy by ourselves. Our parents always said कि लड़कों की need ही नहीं है जब इतने strong लड़कियां हैं हमारे घर में. So they always believed that for them, they never ever, like even coming from a Marathi family, they never once felt the need or the displeasure of not having a boy. Whatever it is, I have these two girls, they are going to do our everything.
Yeah.
And even when my parents passed, it was my sister and I who performed their last rites with that much authority and, everything.
Yeah.
So we never felt that we need a boy in the house to run the family tradition or the family name and whatever it is. We are still known as the Shirodkar sisters, and we are going to be the Shirodkars till our last breath.
So how is the bond like between you and Namrata? So because I keep seeing a lot of your pictures on Instagram, you make such beautiful family. What kind of a bonding or association? Because she lives in Hyderabad, you've been a part of your time life. You've been in Mumbai, then
Abroad.
in London,
Yeah.
and then
Everywhere.
you've traveled everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Namrata is older to me by 2.5 years. And as kids, like normal siblings, we didn't have the best bond. Because we are very different as people, right? She is very, very structured and very, 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 she was very top student. She was like in the top 3. And I was from the down 3.
Okay.
So, that's the difference. And even in our personalities, she's very quiet, she's very subtle. I'm this very loud, very, very talkative person. And that is to also be in our report cards.
Okay.
So, my mother used to always say, my God, in one house, only 2 children. And look at us, look at them, how they are. So, when you have someone who's so academically profound, and you have someone who's like, I like gymnastics and I like dance and I like drama. So our likes and dislikes and even our friends are always different, right? But there came a time when after I got married and after my daughter was born, actually, things just changed in my house. My daughter was like the first child the grandchild in the house. So she was like fully spoiled and pampered. And my sister would not leave her for a minute.
Okay.
Like anything used to happen, she used to take Anushka and sit, like that. So much so that I remember that once she was lying down very close to her marriage time, and Anushka was about to fall from the sofa or something, I was not there. And she got up with a jerk and she had a slip disc. And she was like, no, then she was still insisting on picking up Anushka like that. So we became closer after I got married and after Anushka was born. But our bond became like that after my parents passed away. And she took over me not having my mother and father. That responsibility of, that void that you have when your parents pass and there's somebody you meet in your life or someone, and she was that person who kind of came in at that time.
Yeah.
And like I tell everyone in every interview, Namrata is my everything. She worries about me, she loves me, she's there for me, she criticizes me, she's happy for me, she's everything for me. And I know that I am where I am today is because of her presence in my life. Like I tell her each and everything as it is.
Yeah.
There is nothing that she doesn't know. There are certain things that I might tell her a little late because I know that may cause her to worry and I don't want her to worry, but I will tell her everything. I mean, and now I don't have to worry about what state of mind I am in that I will tell her, because I'm of a strong belief, Prema, that when you're angry about something or you're disturbed about something, you should not express to others that way because it may not be the right way. That emotion will die out, right? You just want to tell them what has happened. You don't want to tell them how it is or what you are feeling right now. You're just saying, you want to just convey the message. That message should be conveyed in a very neutral way. Then let that other person decide how to take that message.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I do. But I tell her everything. And I know that she is my everything.
So she took the responsibility of being your mom.
Oh yeah. And yeah, she did mother, father, brother, sister, everything.
But tell me, when you were at the peak of your career, when you were doing such good films, when you were acting so well, why did you take this decision to just get married and just move from here? Was it your conscious decision, or you just did because, okay, some things have to happen at the right time, right age, right things?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Because my mother always believed that things have to happen at the right time, at the right age, for the right reasons.
Okay.
And I believed in everything my mom said. I never questioned her because I know that there is a mother who will never ever wish bad for the child.
Yeah.
And that relationship is so pure that you can't, there's no reason to, you might question it, but if you know that, whatever she's saying makes sense, it's okay,
Yeah.
you just have to accept it. She was always believed in that. And I was 27 when I got married. I got married in 2000 and 27, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And I had Anushka when I was 30. And, I could probably do whatever I did outside the country, like adjusting, adapting, whatever, because I was much younger then. Abhi agar you tell me that now go and do, it's tough.
Yeah.
So that is why I think that logic comes, ki everything should happen at the right time, at the right age, because our mind, our physical body also is prepared to take those challenges, I think. It has to happen at the right time. Now, the time is obviously what we choose for ourselves, but I chose what my mother chose for me. And I have no regret at all about it. I mean, if I had not to do that, probably I've never met a nicer person than Apresh. Probably I would have not, I mean, my Anushka wouldn't have been today, there in our lives. And I wouldn't have the beautiful experiences I've had in every country that I've lived.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't have had this story to tell you.
Very true. Very true.
So,
but okay, regrets apart, but have you ever felt, when the vacuum is there where you were in another country?
Absolutely.
When you see the films here, when they're doing so well, the Bollywood is shining. Arey, how I wish I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
How I wish I also would have been playing some more roles.
Yeah.
How I wish I played this character.
So, Prema, actually, my mother had said this when I decided to be an actor, and I started my shooting, and how you travel with your entourage and all that. She had told me one thing, ki when you step out of the house, you're Shilpa Shirodkar, and you have a boy who's attending to you, holding an umbrella and bringing your food for you at the table, and whatever, and drink, wink. You have a makeup man, a hairdresser running behind you. She said, when you come back home, you are Shilpa for us. So don't think that you can come home with baggage.
Okay.
And for me, I think that's my personality also. I've never let that baggage, I've never carried that baggage with me anywhere. So when you say that, how difficult was it for you? It was difficult not being busy. It was not difficult being happy with doing nothing.
Okay.
In the sense that not doing nothing, but it was not difficult to settle in, adapt to a new lifestyle. It was not difficult. That was not difficult.
That was not difficult, yeah.
Difficult was because I was so used to waking up early, going to work, doing makeup, working for 18 hours a day sometimes more. Sometimes just come home, take a quick shower, go back to work. No sleep, no rest, nothing, talking all the time, meeting new people. Suddenly you land up going in a foreign country where you don't know many people.
Yeah.
That was difficult.
Yeah.
But I like I said, that I look at life very positively today.
Yes.
I don't remember much about then so much, but I do remember, I've always said this, that I didn't miss the glamour. I didn't, and I was very happy that such lovely cinema was coming out, because the whole industry flipped after 2000, after I got married.
Yes.
It was so beautiful to see that new culture, to see that new cinema, see beautiful stories, fun films, and all genre type of films.
Yeah.
Married girls like my contemporaries still working. It was beautiful. And it is an honor today, and I think I'm here today, married, mother of a 21-year-old, because they set an example that, so what if you're married?
Yeah.
You can still work.
Yes.
So, I mean, so ever grateful for all of them who've done that, I was just, I think, too exhausted taking care of my child and managing a house, and living abroad is not easy. You have to do everything on your own. So I think that keeps you so mentally occupied that you don't miss that part, or you don't feel that, I should be doing this. But I am so glad that I'm back. And
after 25 years.
Yeah, I
almost
came back in the middle for a couple of years, soon after my parents
I think you
passed.
were doing a lot of TV.
I did television.
And all,
I did television, and obviously, I mean, that was something that I felt, okay, if I've done this and this is what it is, and so it was fabulous. Those 4 years also, I think I call it my golden period, because I feel ki at television is like a women centric industry, and I was getting all these amazing roles, and I was like, my God, the money was great, the respect was amazing,
right.
the roles were great. I worked with 3 top channels in those 4 years, and I was just living my best life.
Earlier, I've taken an interview with Namrata, and she says that, the best thing that ever happened to her is getting married to Mahesh and, staying in Hyderabad, having 2 beautiful kids, taking care of the house.
Yeah.
She says, I love taking care of the house.
Yeah.
I just love being a mother. I just love all of this. So, I can see a lot of those shades even in you. I mean, you look so happy, taking care of a house,
Yeah,
bringing up
yeah.
your child, talking about your husband.
And the
that is
best part about it is, Prema, when you meet people who have met Anushka after a long time, and they all kind of say, what a beautiful child you've grown up.
Yeah.
And I look at her, and it is so satisfying as a mother.
Yes.
I cannot even tell you. I mean, sacrifice the world for that. Any mother, all you require eventually is your child to turn out to be a good human being.
Yeah.
And when random people come to me and tell me that, it just makes you feel so proud. These sacrifices to nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, work will happen, and it has happened.
Yes.
Today, my child is grown up. She's studying, independent, grown up to be a good, content person, a happy person, spreads laughter and smiles everywhere she goes. A good human being. She's compassionate. She thinks about other people before she thinks about herself. And I think that's great. That's a great quality for a child at 21 to have.
Women only can do this, Shilpa. I mean, they can switch on, switch off. They can
Yeah.
swap roles. They can accommodate anywhere.
Yeah.
They really make lives beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like your mom.
Yeah.
She had such a beautiful career, but she took care of
Absolutely.
both of you.
Yeah.
I mean, she took it as a priority, but still she didn't ignore herself.
Didn't
So
ignore
it's a combination
herself,
of
her
so many
husband.
things.
Yeah, and I think, I think it's a beautiful trait to have, to be there for your loved ones.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I've learned that from my mom. I see that in my sister.
What is motherhood to you with your own experiences, that too bringing up a girl child? How is it more, gratifying, or, what do you feel? What do you feel inside?
Motherhood to me is something that is beyond words. It's an emotion that only a mother will realize. And I hope that a lot of mothers watching me today will understand that, we need to bring up our children in a very sensible way. Where whether even if you have a boy, it doesn't mean that they can do everything. And even if you have a girl, it doesn't mean that she can do everything.
Yeah.
Everything has to be equal. Sensibility, culture, humanity, spirituality. Everything needs to be introduced to them at levels. And I, in fact, tell my daughter this. I said, your generation, there are so many things to learn at 21, which we didn't have. I said, absorb, take, go, just explore. If you don't do it today, I said, we started very late.
Yeah.
Because this information was given to us so late. I said, go ahead and just explore it, do whatever you want. Just, parents have to give their child a little bit of freedom to choose what they want to choose.
Yeah.
But they, it's a beautiful balance to have. So I have to tell you, this is very interesting, okay?
Okay.
When I was living in Dubai, we used to go, how you go, and then they ask you, if you go to any place and you're filling up a form, they'll say name, date of birth, blah, 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 and profession. So profession, they used to have housewife as profession.
Okay.
So I used to look at them and I used to say, why do you all have only housewife? Why don't you all have full-time mother or homemaker? Because I feel that it is one of the most crucial professions to be in. Why housewife, which is like a term that was used in the 40s or 50s or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We should change. Na, so many new professions have come. So ye bhi change ho sakta hai na. I'm a homemaker. I take care of I have to wake up, take care of my child, make sure she goes to school properly in a uniform, has a breakfast, takes her lunch, comes back, has a snack, Go drop her, pick her up, take her for her classes, come back, make sure she has hot dinner on the table, then make sure that her clothes for the next day are ironed,
Yeah, yeah.
then make sure that my husband comes, his manpasand cheezein are made. All these things. Plus, make sure that the house is a home. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel a woman is one who makes a home, a house a home. Otherwise, it's just brick and tile, right?
Yes, yes.
So,
So when did you decide that, okay, I have set my home properly. Everything is set now. My daughter is grown up. My husband now takes care of me also. I mean, everything is set. So let me now again get back to my profession. When did this strike you?
the thought had been in my head for a while. Okay. When I turned 50 years old, I one day just woke up and I said to my husband, I said, I have to talk to you about something. And he said, what? And I had moved back from Dubai to London. I find London very lonely and very, because I don't have many people there. I have one good
Okay.
friend, one or two good friends. But everybody is so busy in their
Yeah,
life because
yeah,
everything
yeah.
you have to do on your own and all that. So even if you want to spend that 10 minutes extra with your friend, you can't because there's something else lined up for that day. So I woke up and I told Apresh that, Apps, I need to talk to you. And he said, yeah, what? So I said, I think I want to go back home. And he's like, go back home where? So I said, back to India. I said, I don't think I'm happy here. I said, I tried for a whole year, but I really don't think I'm happy in this place. And he said, what do you want to do? I said, see, I don't know whether I'll get work. I don't know how things will unfold for me. But if I have to be happy mentally, then I think I need to go back home. So he said, okay, fine. He thought for a minute. I said, okay, do it. So I said, I would like to get work for, something to do also. So then he said, when do you want to do it? So then my daughter luckily had got an internship
Okay.
in 2024 in Hyderabad for 2 months.
Oh.
So I said, I'll take a one-way ticket and I will go. And I will call everyone I know in the industry and see if I get some work. So he said, okay. And he said, and if you don't get work? I said, see, if I don't get work now, I'd still like to stay in Mumbai, but we'll see how it is. So he said, okay, no problem. And Anushka took a return ticket. I took a one-way ticket. I came to India, started calling people. Some people answered, some people didn't. Some people replied back saying, yeah, we will meet. And whatever, everybody's busy, na, Prema. You can't
Yeah,
afford
yeah.
ki just because
Right.
you have come back, everybody should be there, ready, waiting for you.
Correct.
And then luckily, life changed. I got a call from Big Boss. I went into the Big Boss house. And then I knew that I was not going to go back. I think if, Apresh, it has been that support system in my life.
Wonderful.
Who said, yeah, just go, do whatever you want. And I also have to say one thing to you. In 2007 and 8, my parents passed away. So in 2010, I decided to come back to India. And because I was in emotional wreck, I was totally messed up. And my husband said, okay, you know what? You need to be closer to your sister and we'll go back to Mumbai. So I came to Mumbai and my husband was at the peak of his career, Prema. And he gave everything up for me.
Wow.
And he said, you know what? You are more important to me. We'll figure out what we can do in Mumbai. And we just came back. So I feel that I've always had his support, whether it was emotional or physical. He's just been there for me. And I think, as much as women do for men, I think my man has done for me. And I have to be very accepting of that. I honestly feel that, there is a saying that behind every successful man, there's a woman. But there's also behind every successful woman, there's a very, very strong and understanding man.
Yes. You've been so engrossed with your own personal life and with your daughter, husband, your own family, home and everything. How did you ever imagine yourself in a place like Big Boss house? I mean, there was not a single day in your life that you didn't see Anushka, didn't
I
see
know.
Apresh.
I used to speak to her for 3 times. I speak to her 3-4 times a day.
Exactly. And you are so emotionally connected to
Yeah.
your family. See, you know what? There are many people who got offers to get into the Big Boss, but they dropped it just because they can't stay away from their
Yeah.
family and kids. What made you do that?
So you know what? Actually, I watch every season of Big Boss. I'm a huge fan of Big Boss, and I used to always say, I want to go into this house. I want to go into this house. And when that call came, I was like, yeah, I'm getting an opportunity to go. I want to go into that house. I didn't think about all these things, honestly. I just don't know, Prema.
Really?
I really, but you know that. So when I told my family that I'm going through Big Boss and all, they were like, "Wow, congratulations!" And yeah, they're so happy and everything. But when I was entering that door to go in, I surrendered my phone and everything. I spoke to my husband. I spoke to Anushka before I was entering the house, and then after that, that last goodbye. And I was just crying. I was holding the entire team of Endemol and I was just crying. And they're like, ma'am, don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. I'm like, yeah. And there was this lovely guy, Abhishek Mukherjee, who was there. And he told me, he said, listen, don't worry. He said, remember one thing. That when you're in that house, if there's anything that is not right with your family, we will let you know. But understand one thing, that if you don't get a call from us for that, that means everything is fine.
Okay.
And that kept me going because I knew that the team would do nothing to not let me know my family needed me.
Yeah.
And honestly, those 3.5 months were, I think I value them so much today in my life. And they value me so much because they could see me, but I didn't know what was going on outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't know. I think it just changed things for me emotionally also.
Yeah.
The way I look at them and the way I look at life, I think that experience is just something else.
How did social media treat you at that point in time?
Wherever I went, there was so much love, so much respect. Of course, there is an audience that calls me Buddhi and wannabe and chudel and all these things, but which is their point of view. I can't change it. I learned one thing from the house, Prema.
Yeah.
That you will always have a difference of opinion.
Correct. You will be judged.
You will be judged no matter what. There will be some people who love you. There will be some people who will not love you. As long as you know who you are, you don't have to give a justification to anyone. My justification lies to my sister, my daughter, my husband, my family, which is my nieces and my brother-in-law. I don't have extended family. I don't have these. This is my home.
Yeah.
And if they question me, I should have an answer which is the truth.
Correct.
If somebody else is questioning me from outside, okay, have your questions ready. I will answer if I think it's worth it. I'm not I'm not here to satisfy the world.
Right. Why do you think you got eliminated?
I have no idea, yeah.
Really?
But I got eliminated on the top 7.
Top 7, I know.
So yeah, it was. I at that time did feel, and what the hell? I should have just been in the top 6. My family would have been there, sitting as one of the finalists. But the exit that they gave me was so amazing.
Yes.
That I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Right.
And I don't know, maybe I didn't get enough votes, which I want to believe, and which was the main reason that they told me. But whatever happens for the best. I would have loved to have that trophy, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I look at this as a great opportunity to you, which opened doors for many more opportunities.
Absolutely.
And the second thing is, even if you are top 7, but the kind of reception that you got across the people, see, you were out of sight, out of mind for so many years. But
people knew me. They knew Shilpa Shirodkar, but they couldn't put a face.
Right.
Now they can put a face to Shilpa Shirodkar. And also, I must tell you that show gave me the opportunity for people to know me as a human being.
Yes.
They only knew me as the characters of the films I've done.
Correct.
They didn't know me as a person. So I think that show gave me the opportunity to show myself.
So did Jatadhara happen after Big Boss?
Yes. In fact, so funny. I had met Prerna before Big Boss was even on the cards. Okay.
Oh.
And so I had met her and
Prerna is the producer of the
Yes, Prerna Arora is the
Jatadhara.
producer of the film. And she had come to me and we were supposed to work on something. And then suddenly Big Boss happened and I went. So when I went, the first person to come congratulate me was her. And she told me, I think it was after a week after I came out, and she said, "Ma'am, I'm doing a film, a Telugu film and a Hindi film, and there's a character. Would you like to listen to the character?" And I'm like, okay. And then quickly I did a Zoom call with Venkat sir and Shivan Narang, who's also one of the producers of the film, and me. And as Venkat sir was narrating the subject to me, I was like, okay, okay, okay. And then he came with this whole shift in character, and I was like, okay. And then I hung up and I told Prerna, I said, "Prerna, I like it. I would like to be part of the project." I said, "Okay, ma'am." I think within 3 weeks, I was shooting for the film.
See?
It was just, like how suddenly the puzzle is kind of coming together.
See, Shilpa, how much you manifested.
Yeah.
You just wanted to come back to India. Come what may.
Yeah.
You just wanted to try your luck here. You just wanted to seek opportunities, and it was like so strong in your heart.
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah.
worked.
But I also believe that it happens when it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
happens before time.
So in Jatadhara, your character is a grey character. That's
Yeah.
what I heard, I saw
Yes.
through trailers.
Yes.
And the way you were, you were so much in love with money, the greed in your eyes,
Yeah.
which is so unlike of you.
I know.
See, Shilpa is someone who is so sweet, sober, pious, understanding, concerned, caring, and flip, you see this
I think as
Shobha.
actors, these are the opportunities as actors that we get to do.
Right.
We get to perform characters that we don't even come across people like that, to be honest. I haven't ever come across somebody like that. So for me, getting to play Shobha, who is so greedy and is so malicious, who doesn't care about emotions and relations. We were just talking about
yeah.
relationships in your show today. And here I am playing this character who's ready to kill for money. And I was like, but you know what an experience it has been, Prema.
yeah.
I mean, I think the profession that we are in today allows us to be people that we don't think we could ever be.
Yeah.
And it actually also gives you an insight to show how horrible that side of the world is.
And we should never be that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, how is the experience of doing that character after so many years? I mean, so many years you didn't face the camera.
Correct.
And that too, you entered with a character which
Like
is
this.
so complex.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to show so many variations.
It is very intense, but I think when you have a good team, the journey becomes easy. Venkat sir and Abhishek Jaiswal, both of them had a lot of clarity in how they wanted every sequence to be shot, how it should be, what is the eyes, how the eyes should look. That one, even that smile, how that smile should come across. Yeah. So I think like I said earlier, I'm a director's actor. If you have a nice sorted director who's expressing his vision to you, my experience brings the ability to understand his vision faster.
Right.
And I think that is what it is.
Yeah. And you're acting with one of your family members?
Yes, I'm working with Sudhir. I'm so good. It was really nice. I mean, so talented, and he looks so like a bachcha, na? But what performance he's done, that last climax sequence, that action and all. I didn't have a lot of work with him other than the climax sequence.
Okay.
So, yeah, sharing screen space with Sudhir has been such an amazing experience. Because you know what? I feel this particular film, Jatadhara, every sequence, every powerful sequence that is in the film had a shooting span of 10 days, 12 days together. And every day to be in that continuity, to be performing like that, it was like a challenge. And then, you're also there. You're seeing your actor. He's so good, so good.
I know. He told me about the climax sequence. He was telling that was the most strenuous, challenging sequence ever.
Yeah.
And he and Sonakshi, he said,
Oh yeah,
is another.
Sonakshi also, my God. I tell you, she used to take 3 hours to get ready, Prema, and everything. And then her harness shots, putting those harness claws on you, sitting for 8, 10 hours, and then being uppar niche. It was like It's very difficult for both of them.
Hmm.
And Sudhir, the poor guy, was bare-bodied, like, you know, just the dhoti downstairs, the clips that you've seen.
Yeah.
And imagine putting harnesses for everyone. It was like a challenge, you know, to get it right on screen. Every shot has to be perfect. It was like a tough one, but what an experience it has
I
been.
know. But tell me, how is it looking at you very regularly on the social media whenever there's a poster released, whenever they're talking about, okay, Shilpa is in this film, it's a big
Yeah.
bang, there was a poster.
I'm very
And, you
nervous.
know, and your clips were released. And there were cute photographs, behind the scenes photographs with you and Sonakshi.
Yeah.
You know, people were comparing, they were saying, are you both sisters?
I know.
There were so many people saying that, oh, they both look
so similar, no? So I've also heard, because Sonakshi came in the industry much after I left.
Yeah.
And when Sonakshi was coming in, my friend's father, he had called me and he said, you know, there's somebody who looks like you, Shatrughan Sinha's daughter, she's coming in the industry. My God, she reminds me just of you. And I was like, yeah. When I actually saw her, like, okay, you know, there is some kind of resemblance. And finally, after so many years, we are sharing screen space together. And in the first day, okay, I didn't know her, I've never met her before and whatever, we met only on this set. And I was sitting and I was working and she was working. And then suddenly at one point we were sitting together and chatting. And they said, has anyone told you we look similar? I'm like, yeah. Has somebody told you? She said, nobody's told me, but I can see. I said, really? And then we realized now in this whole press conference thing also, you know, Prema, we started wearing similar clothes, color of the clothes. And we are sitting in the same way. We are, like, if she answers a question before me, I just look at her and I'm like, I was just going to say that. And then if I answer before her, she'll look at me and say, I was just going to say that. I'm like, this is becoming a little spooky, you know. Like that day we had a press conference in Bombay.
Yeah.
And something happened and I was wearing green. Now, green is not my color. I don't like green, but I said, chalo, I'll wear green today. Because every time we wore maroon together, we wore red together, we wore purple together. And without having same team people also.
You were not even talking to each other.
No.
Generally.
Just generally. Come in wearing the same colors. So that day she comes to me and I said, you know, we were sitting and chatting and I'm like, oh God, you know, I've got such a stiff neck since 2 days. She said, no, get out. I said, why? Since 2 days, my neck is also gone. I said, listen, this is becoming too much. I said, this coincidence is not a coincidence anymore. So yeah, but she's fun. She's so good. Such a sweet girl. Both, I think, this team was good.
Yeah.
This team, all my co-actors, the production team, the camera team, the Z Studios, you know, Prerna, Shivin, Kusum, all of them were so good. My Rohit ji, who's playing my husband, then you have Indira ji, who's playing the sister-in-law, Ravi ji. Then you have so many actors around from the industry. You know, it's like a combination of two industries actually coming together.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful feeling, Prema.
So how many days was it, shooting time? Yours?
So I think I shot for about 20 days. Around 20, if not less. And I think the entire film was over in 40 days, if I'm not mistaken.
That's it?
Yeah, 40 or 45.
Too quick, yeah?
Too quick. I'm telling you, we started shooting in February or March. And in November, we are already on release. So you can just imagine. It's
quick.
Just very
fast. And that too, the canvas is also very big,
Yeah.
right? You have this CG, you have VFX.
And they're
so
doing
much.
everything in their capacity to make it a film that the audiences will like.
Did you see the first copy?
I haven't yet. I don't want to see it like that. I want to see a full ready product.
Okay.
So I just saw whatever I had to dub for.
Can you reveal any one of the scenes where you felt that, you know, I've given my best performance?
No, I don't think as an actor there's anyone.
No, in this
scene. In this film also, I think there's so much more to learn. Yeah. As an actor, as a performer, it's very difficult to say.
Correct,
this
but
is my
one
best.
scene you'll feel, no,
But I feel that, okay, when I see now the whole film, then I'll tell you this answer. Because I haven't, whatever I've only
so
dubbed
performing
for,
you will not know?
No.
Okay.
I don't think you know how it is going to, because see what you perform and how it looks on the edit and what it looks as a full product is totally different. But yes, that entire tantric sequence, Havan sequence was a tough one for me. And it went on for 10-12 days. And it was like by the end of it, because there was fire, there was kumkum, haldi, there was this mad, eccentric behavior, there was screaming, there was talking, there was dialogues, there was everything. The eyes had to be the same, the body language. It was a tough one. It was a tough one. I don't know whether it's good or bad. I don't know how it's going to look because I've not seen it. But I just hope that, everyone has worked so hard for it. I just hope it's good.
Shilpa, in your Instagram bio, I've seen you're the God's favorite child.
I am.
In what way?
Okay, so I believe that this is my third time that I've come back into the industry. And as you know, Prema, you've been here long enough. People don't even get 2 chances. I have got the third chance, the third opportunity to prove myself as an actor, to work in an industry I call home. I grew up here. I don't know anything better than acting. So I feel God has been very, very kind to me. And I feel that, of course, there have been ups and downs in life, emotionally, physically, career-wise, everything. Life is not a straight line and it shouldn't be.
Correct.
And I feel that I believe that He's above watching over me to give me things at the right time for the right reasons. And otherwise, all the experiences that He's even showered me in my life have only made me look at life more positively.
Very true.
So I feel that I am God's favorite child not because of what my situation is today, but also to put me through trials and tribulations, but to give me the power to cross them and to accept them and to move on. You have to be His favorite child now.
Right. Shilpa, sometimes we as women, when we go through low phases in our life, we attribute it to so many things, but we don't deeply understand that there could be hormonal imbalances,
Absolutely.
changes, and there could be something which we got stuck within, that we are not able to come out of it, and that's the reason it is manifesting in so many ways.
Yeah.
So we realize it at a very later part in our life. But what was the case with you? Because I know that you've been following Satya Sindhuja Amma for about 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
And she's your mentor.
Like I say to everyone, she's my spiritual guru. She has helped me path my energies in the right way. In the sense that, she is very clear. She doesn't predict your future. She doesn't tell you whether what will happen in your life, at what age and what stage, that she doesn't tell you. But she gives you the insight to connect with your inner self, she opens your mind out a little bit so that you handle situations easily. Like if tomorrow, and you're right, because in 2003 when my daughter was born, I had postnatal depression. And I went through that. I suffered with it for 2 years because I didn't have anyone to talk about it to. And it was a horrible journey for me.
Yeah. And as women, we put on weight. You know what? I put
We
on
put
so
on weight.
much of
We just
weight.
don't have anyone to discuss things with. We're not happy as people. She has come into my life at a stage where I am able to say things like I am feeling without hurting anyone. Like I actually today, if I am angry about something and I want to just say it, I will go to sleep. I will wake up the next day and I will address it in a very calm way where I am telling them that this is what it is and this is how I felt. Because in that anger, I may say things to that person who may not listen to me like he's supposed to listen to me.
Yeah. He might get hurt.
He may get not only hurt, I may say things that I don't really mean.
Yeah.
So I think her coming into my life has made me think that, you know what, things don't have to happen like you want it to happen. It's okay. Worst case, what will happen? Something that you want to happen may not happen today, but it will happen tomorrow. The world is not coming to an end.
Right. But how were you handling it earlier? Prior to you meeting
So that's
Amma?
what. So prior to meeting Amma, how you want instant answers, instant solutions, instant decisions. But life is not like that. We are all over the place, But when you have somebody who is there like a guide for you, then things become a little more sorted.
What is that one crucial thing that she told you that stayed with you?
So she told me, I mean, I went to America with her on her tour, like, she had some work consultations, meeting patients, meeting people who were curious to meet her, who couldn't take that flight and come to India. So we organized a 10-day seminar kind of a thing with her. And those 10 days was my first time with her. And while she was talking to other people, how like I like to listen to people, I like to pick up stuff. And she was telling somebody at that time that we are not born to experience pain. It should never be a part of your life. You should never be okay with it. And to not experience pain and not to live with pain is in your hands. So she actually teaches you or helps you be in that space of finding your inner voice or connecting with your inner self.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. I mean, and every time I meet people, emotionally in pain or physically in pain, and I always say, but you're not born to experience pain. And they look at me like, what are you talking? I'm like, okay, you don't understand what I'm saying, but I know what I'm saying. So yeah.
Have you ever prioritized yourself in your entire journey till date?
So you know
or
what?
you always put yourself in the back seat?
So you know what? That is also one big change that has come in my life. So when we have children, we always tell our children, ki, think about yourself first. Don't always do for others. We've done that. We've experienced how much pain it can give and all that. And then there's a term in our dictionary saying that people who put themselves first and think about themselves are very selfish.
Yeah.
Because society is so used to the fact that people only do for you, that they don't understand how is it possible that you can put yourself. But I feel that with having Amma in my life, she's helped me think about myself first, because if I am happy, people around me are happier.
Correct.
So I feel that I've started to do that because I know that if I am not happy, I am giving happiness to my family, but I'm pretending to do that. Today I'm organically happy. So everyone around me is happy.
Amazing, wonderful. So whenever you go through an emotional down moments, what do you do? Do you cry? Do you scream? Do you shut your doors? Do you speak it out? What is your venting out mode?
I think there are different emotions for different spaces.
Yeah.
I used to cry a lot earlier, but I suddenly feel that part of me is not so active anymore. I always tend to look at the positives in everything, because I feel, okay, you know what? If there's something I really want and it's not happening, there will be a reason why it's not happening. That reason I don't know. I'll give you a small example, Prema. I was very attached to my mother, and I used to always tell my mother when she was looking for a boy to get married, I say, I used to live in Khar. I say, I'll only go up to Juhu, not beyond it.
Oh.
And then one day I met my husband and I decided to marry him and leave the country and go. And we decided to get married in 1.5 days, and I just left. At that time, I was like so happy. I was in love with the Prayesh, getting to know him. Ours is an arranged marriage, so we didn't know each other. So that whole thing of, getting to know him and whatever. And then I was, one day when you're alone, you just sit back and you think, that why would you do that, But God was actually preparing me, because I was so attached to my mother and father. And my mom and dad passed in 7 years of my marriage. So he was actually preparing me for that day, which I only realized later on. Because, initially and that's probably the only thing I would have liked to change, is I feel I lost those 7 years with them. But he was emotionally preparing me to face that time that was going to come in my life. So that's what I say. I always look at the positives in everything.
Wonderful.
So yeah.
You sound so spiritually awakened person.
I think I've always been like that.
Even earlier?
I just didn't have a chance to talk, or probably I just didn't have the opportunity to speak. But I always felt, through my journey, emotional battles that I've had through my life and going through several therapies and counselors and all that, you always pick things that and you keep it close to you, and then you just need a moment to talk about it where people will hear you. So I'm not spiritually awakened. There's a big long journey still left, but I believe that, you know what, you just have to look at life positively.
Yeah.
Positively meaning not that you're only going to grow. There will be times when you'll be down also, but there's a bigger picture.
Yeah. See, you never got an opportunity, I think, to ever talk about Mahesh Babu on camera. So I take this opportunity. What do you think of Mahesh as a person, as an actor?
Well, he's family, and you know, he is, I think, one of the kindest souls I've met as an actor. I mean, I'm a fan of Mahesh.
Okay.
He's my brother-in-law, and he's, I mean, you know what? Honestly, he's one person I'd say that he only wants the best for everyone. There's no malice, there's no jealousy, there's no envious. He is just what you see of him.
So do you ever ask, Mahesh, I want to act in your film?
No, I haven't crossed that path yet. But maybe if this film does well, then I'll ask him. So now I have, now can I work
now
with
you
you?
should.
Now can I work with you? Yeah. But I haven't asked him yet.
Yeah. Shilpa, you know what? Going through your, your entire journey in Wikipedia or in Google, I came across one story. Just clarify on that, if it's correct or not. I came to know that you got an opportunity to do the Chaya Chaya dance in Dil Se. Is it right?
Yeah. They offered me Chaya Chaya, and then they told me that, oh, but you're a little overweight. So I went on a 15-day diet and all that. And then they said, nahin, you're still fat, so now we're not taking you.
They told that.
And yeah, but at that time it was okay, no?
Oh, now they don't.
In the 90s.
Now if they tell you,
that
like,
time, you also know, Prema.
But I'll tell you something. In those days, most of the heroines were never zero size. Shilpa.
Agreed.
All the heroines were very.
I fully
They were
agree.
like.
Yeah, but maybe that was not what they had who they wanted. So, but my Chaya Chaya only became Chaya Chaya after release, right?
Yeah.
For me, I felt bad that I lost the opportunity to work with Mani sir. Because it was like, for me, a dream. It still is a dream.
Yeah.
And I hope that at some point in my life and my career, I get an opportunity to work with him. So I was like, shit, I lost that opportunity to work with him. And then obviously the regret of not doing Chaya Chaya was there, but I was working anyways, you know.
Yeah.
But I felt very bad that I didn't get a chance to work with Mani sir.
What do you think about this kind of body shaming?
Body shaming and all these
judgments.
words have come today. Okay?
Right.
It wasn't there during our time.
But in those days, how they were telling? They were telling on the face that you have a
they
blunt
said
nose,
you're
you're fat,
it
you're
was like,
thin,
sorry, but
you're dark.
you're a little fat for this. But so I'll be taking somebody else. And I'm like, okay. I don't even remember how I felt, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
But in those days, it was just brush it off, huh?
I'm telling you, my only sadness or
that you didn't work with Mani sir.
I didn't get a chance to work in his film.
Okay, but that didn't affect you.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
See, today's world, we've come across so many words. Feminism, toxicity, toxic relationships, compatibility, and then now this body shaming. They were all existing at a point of time, but they were all snubbed. Today it is, it is told, spoken. What do you think about this?
So, I think the world is changing. I think society is changing. The way people look at a particular episode that has happened in somebody else's life or in theirs is very different. And it's very good to have an opinion, and it's very good to voice your opinion. But it is not necessary that your opinion is only going to be the right one.
Yeah.
So I think it is fine to be there standing and saying what you think, but it is incorrect to expect the world to follow you.
Okay.
If you have an opinion, appreciate and respect somebody else's as well. So I think great, today education, opportunities are there. Multiple opportunities are for different things.
Yeah.
Today in our industry only, I still remember एक dress designer होती थी. She used to send clothes to our set. Our hairdresser used to make us wear those clothes. Safety pins, stitching, witching, everything. The production dressman used to do and our hairdresser used to do. Today have different departments
Yeah,
in our industry only.
Yeah.
And every department has a person who has a mind of their own. So I'm thinking that at the end of the day, the project has to be good. The product has to be good. I'm not saying whether you're right or you're wrong. There's so many things that we've been saying growing up, which we think is okay, but my daughter doesn't think it's right.
Yeah,
So we are changing with that, with her.
Yeah.
Like I always say that I am learning from my child. I'm homeschooling, and if I have to live in today's society, I have to be more acceptable to what is the change, to what it is. So I won't say that good or bad, right or wrong. I have no one to pass that judgment. I'm just saying that yes, the overall thought process of society has changed.
And we need to.
And we need to evolve with it if we want to be in today's times.
And what is your opinion on judgments or opinions passed on social media?
No,
about
I
you?
don't have an opinion. I don't have a judgment on it. I don't have my point of view. I feel each one to their own. And this thought process came into me as a human being after having spent 3.5 months in the Bigg Boss house with strangers, with people you don't know, because majority of the people you don't know who pass a judgment or opinion about you are strangers. They will. We do. We don't know someone, but we do.
We just pass
We
opinions.
pass an opinion and a judgment. So I feel that, why rule shouldn't be different for you or different for somebody else, right?
Yeah.
So that's what
Yeah,
it
correct.
is.
But the opinions and judgments can be little in a nice way, no?
But
The
nice way,
nastiness.
then don't give it on that time. Give it a day later. Automatically your opinion and your judgment will be in a nice way. So you're saying basically tonality, which I think is very important.
Tonality
as well.
is important.
The tonality is what is
Because that's what
important.
you were mentioning even earlier. You were saying you sleep over the problem.
Sleep over the problem.
Next
the next
day.
day you will find a better solution also to it, I think.
Talking to you is like a therapy.
No, please.
Seriously. It really, you should do something.
Yeah.
You should start something like this, which will help many people.
Yes. I hope.
You should.
I hope I can.
So-
I just feel if I get a more opportunity to sit on podcasts like you, or tomorrow have my own podcast where I'm talking to other people.
you should.
I'll be spreading the word of being kind to people more than anything else.
Yes, you should. And I'm really wishing lot of success to Jatadhara, because
Thank you, Prema.
that should become a very big hit. It should be a blockbuster and it should
Thank
open
you,
a
thank you,
lot
thank
of
you,
opportunities to you. Really pray for you. I really pray
Thank
for
you.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, before we end, I have a rapid fire.
Oh my God. Okay.
And I have a memory test.
oh
Let's
my
see
God.
how much memory you have
Okay.
with regards
Okay.
to our industry.
Okay.
Okay? The first question. One word that defines your Bigg Boss journey.
Incredible.
If you were not an actress.
If I was not an actress, I always say this to everyone because I was such a bad student. I used to just like typing because I used to go and sit in the hotel my mom used to work and I used to type. So probably a typewriters.
Typewriters. Super. You can do that even now on a computer, on a laptop.
Yeah, but now computer, that time there used to be those kind of
that you
typewriters.
like,
na?
huh?
Tick, 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 tick,
Very
tick like
nice. The top 2 best films of yours in your
Mine,
career.
I won't be able to choose.
Two
Honestly, I'll tell you honestly, it's very difficult as an actor to choose your best top films because every film has made you who you are.
Right.
And so it's not fair.
But you will have a personal liking towards some characters, right? If not the film, at least your character, you feel this character is good. I really liked it.
No, there's so much more to do in life than nothing. But all my films are my favorite.
Okay, all right. I'll just utter 5 names. You have to give your opinion in 1 word. Opinion. Okay? Nagarjuna.
Khudagawa.
Rajnikant.
Hum.
What is this? You're telling film names?
I associate with my films. I've worked with them. My
Okay.
privilege and honor. Imagine.
Okay, what is the best moment or experience with Rajnikant?
Oh my God, Rajni sir, I think is one of the sweetest, fun actors. We used to speak in Marathi.
Both of you? Oh, yeah, he's a Marathi.
And we used to have so much fun, I can't tell you. So kind, so generous, so loving. Just us 3, when we used to meet down at the breakfast table and all, we used to speak in Marathi. "Ha, mag kasa challe?" And it was so nice, you know. Trust me, these actors so big in their spaces, but so humble, so kind, and that is actually my schooling.
Yes. No, that is why they are
Yeah,
legends.
yeah.
Salman Khan.
Big Boss. I tell you, one of my most incredible experiences of Big Boss is Salman Khan. Actually, he was so nice, so kind, and what a host! Like literally, I remember after having 6 days of a tough 6 days in the house,
Yeah.
we used to wait when we'll see him. Some relief used to be there. So yeah.
Anil Kapoor.
Anil Kapoor was the reason I signed Brahma, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
He was coming to Hyderabad to shoot for a film, and we shared the same manager. And he carried my album to show Gopal Garu. And he's a very nice girl. I've worked with her in Kishan Kanhaiya and all. So he showed my album and I signed Brahma.
Okay, Amitabh Bachchan ji.
Amitabh Bachchan ji is...
I've seen a wonderful post on your Instagram on his birthday
Yeah.
that you wanted to marry him.
Yeah. So that was the first, you know how in the industry when you're new, they
Yeah.
call you and they say, आपको किससे शादी करनी है? अरे मुझे अमिताभ बच्चन से शादी करनी है. And that time I didn't know I'd ever work in a film with him.
Yeah.
And then when I saw him, I was like,
You worked in 2 films.
yeah, Hum and
Hum
Khuda
and Khuda
Gawah.
Gawah. Yeah.
So what can I say about Amit ji? My first love, forever love, I think. He is incredible, amazing. I learned so much from these people.
Yeah. What is your most proudest moment?
My daughter just got graduated now
Hmm?
at St. Andrews. And to see her walk in that group of graduated kids was one of my most proud moments. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more than seeing my child, because she achieved her dream. She wanted to go to that college. She wanted to do that degree. And she's so self-driven that it couldn't have been, I couldn't have asked for anything better. For a mother, it's, when your children are just achieving their dreams,
Right.
it's such a proud moment for me.
Wonderful. What did success teach you and what did failure teach you?
Well, success taught me that to be humble and kind, to be open to sharing your experiences with other people and teaching them if they want to learn from you.
Yeah.
What failure taught me is nothing is permanent in your life. Nothing is permanent. And not only mine, even when I was working, there were so many of my other co-stars who've seen ups and downs in their careers. And I know that nothing is permanent. If success is there, failure will come. If failure is there, success will also come. Keep your focus and be a good human being.
Yes. See, if you want to act under any Telugu director's direction, who is that one person?
Everyone. I want to work with everyone. I want to work in all the industries across borders. I don't think that there is any thing like Telugu industry or Tamil industry. Today we are all trying our
Correct,
best to
but I'm
become
talking
one.
about the Telugu directors because you're here now. We are doing an interview on my channel.
So I would like to work with everyone actually. Honestly, I want to work with Rajmouli Garu.
There you go. Okay.
Also.
So, the final question. Did you dub for yourself in Telugu for Jatadhar?
Not in Telugu because it would be if something goes wrong somewhere, then it's a very critical film, right?
Yeah.
So I think we have very good artists here who do it so professionally. But I've dubbed for the Hindi version.
Do you remember any of your lines?
Very tough. I won't be able to.
All right. Now memory test, okay? In which year was Namrata Shirodkar crowned as Miss India?
1993.
You could. Good memory you have. Which is a recent Telugu movie where Amitabh Bachchan was a part.
Kalki.
Who is a Telugu star hero who acted in Rajinikanth's Coolie as a villain?
Telugu?
Star hero who acted in Rajinikanth's latest film.
I know.
Coolie as a villain.
Nagarjuna sir.
What is Mahesh Babu's pet name in Pokri?
Pandu.
Pandugadu. All right. Okay. What is the sport that Sudhir Babu is trained in?
Badminton.
All right. Okay. There are two heroines in Rajinikanth's Linga movie. Who are those two heroines? One of them looks like you.
Sonakshi. And second clue,
The other one acted in Bahubali.
Anushka.
Areva, too much. If I give clues, you will tell everything. All right. The last question. A child actor made his acting debut in One Nenokkadine, Mahesh Babu's film. Who is that child actor?
My dear Gautam.
Good one.
Then-
You got 100%.
A good memory.
I know. Thank you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
wonderful talking to you, Shilpa.
Thank you, Prema. The pleasure was all mine, and thank you so much.
Yes.
And hope that we do many more such interviews.
Yes.
And
Whenever you're in Hyderabad, we should talk something meaningful.
Yeah.
Other
for
than
sure.
cinema.
For sure.
We'll talk random
Yeah,
topics.
Yeah, nice.
Which will help because
Absolutely.
you are an amazing person and you really motivate people
Thank you.
and
Thank
you need to talk.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.